All right, now we're going to look at number 17. And so we have an arithmetic series. So we don't want this because it's a sequence. We don't want this because it's geometric. So we're looking for this one. So this is the sum of the first n terms of the arithmetic series. So that's the formula we're going to write down. All right, so if we look at this, if I wanted to know my first term, I would take the expression 10, and so we're starting at 1, so I plug 1 in. And so 10 times 1 minus 2 is 8. And if I want to know the second term, I would then plug 2 in. And so this isn't how we would use this formula, but I just want you to understand what's happening here. So we get 20 minus 2 is 18. Ten times 3 minus 2 is 28. And so if I didn't know about the formula, I would keep plugging in these numbers. So my fourth answer is 38, my fifth answer is 48, and then I kind of start seeing this pattern that I'm adding 10 every time. Wonder where that came from. And so I worked my way all the way from the first term to the 11th term. And so this sigma is telling us that we want to add all these answers up. And so now if I were to go through and add them all up on my calculator, I would get the answer to the question. This is a lot of work, so we have a shortcut formula. So we need to know how many terms we have. And so I told you guys that to find out that terms, I take my last term, which is my top, which you can't see. So this is my last term. This down here is my first term. And I told you that n equals my last minus my first plus 1. So 11 minus 1 plus 1 equals 11. So I have 11 terms here, and it makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 11. So now when I plug this into my formula, I get 11 over 2. Now my first term we found by plugging 1 in, and I got 8. My 11th term I found by plugging 11 in, and we got 108. And now this is what we plug into our calculator. And so we get so when we work that out, we get 638. So for number 18, you're going to use the same formula, n over 2 times our first term and our last term. And so remember, you need to find out how many terms we have. So it's our last minus our first plus 1. So the thing that you need to be worried about here is that we're not starting at 1. So my first term is going to happen when I plug 4 in. And then my last term is going to happen when I plug 17 in.